Hey guys, it's Brianna Maddox here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a very large book haul. I know I'm forgetting some books. I recently redid my bookshelves and reorganized them, and I can't remember where I put some books. So I know I'm forgetting some of them, like I could not find them, and I just really wanted to get this filmed. And plus, if you guys could see my floor right now, there is a lot of books. So I kind of have it broken down based off of where I purchased and why and everything. But this is a very big book haul, and grab a snack, get you a drink. I'm going to try and go as quickly as I can. I'm not going to give any synopsis for these books because I have so many. So the first little stack that I'm going to do, I just want to quickly go through them really quick, but this is a haul that I got from a company, which if you've been in the book community and have heard about different companies and given their positions on everything going on, there's one company who got canceled very quickly. Like literally before it happened, I had already placed an order because there was one book that really pushed me to make an order, and it was this whole long drawn out process. It took forever to ship. By the time I got the box, it came damaged, half of the books were ruined, and then so I had to contact the company to get replacements, and then I finally got them like last week. So I placed this order towards the end of May, and I finally got the last replacement copies, but it was a hot mess. So the very first book in the order was Aurora by Cora Comac. This is a YA fantasy. I have not read it. I had the ARC copy, but I decided I got this for a really cheap price, so I decided to just buy a finished copy. Next up, I got Ghost of the Shadowhunker. Ghost of the Shadowhunters Market, or the Shadow Market. Ghosts of the Shadow Market. This is in the whole Shadowhunters world. So this is a collection of short stories by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link, and Robin Wasserman. I have not read this yet, but I do look forward to it. I am so far behind in all of the Shadowhunters worlds. Next up, I got Blind Kiss by Renee Carlino. I read this in May, absolutely loved it. Such an amazing book. I also had a paperback arc of it, and I just needed to get a finished copy of it. Next up, I have The Burning Shadow by Jennifer Armentrout. This is the second book in the Darkest Stars series. The first book is The Darkest Stars. I don't know if you guys can see the cover, but it's right here. I love Jennifer Armentrout. I don't need a reason to buy this book. I know this is a spin-off of the Lux series, if I'm not mistaken, and that's like one of my all-time favorite series, so I am super excited about this one. Next up, I got The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. This is actually the second book in the Sky in the Deep series, duet. I don't know. This is the first book I saw, and then I saw this was actually the second book, so I have not read this yet, but I do really look forward to it. Alright, so next up I got Dark Shores by Daniel L. Jensen. I am so excited to read this book. I have been hearing so much buzz, specifically on Bookstagram, that so many people who read young adult absolutely love this series, and I think it's book 3 that recently dropped. I think it was towards the end of May, so I am super excited to read this series. Okay, so here is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This is the first book. This I actually read, I think, in May, and this was such a fun YA fantasy standalone. Absolutely loved it. Next up, I have Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I also read this, I think, in May. Absolutely loved it. Another YA fantasy series. I want to say right now there's 2 books out. Wicked Gods is book 2. I still need to read it, but this series is so good. And then I think this is the last, no, I have one more book, but I can't remember in which stack I accidentally put it, but that's okay. But one of the books is Kingdom of Vash. This is obviously by Sarah J. Maas. I don't think I need to tell you who the author is, but I don't even know what book this is in the series, but I am trying to make my way through the series. But at the time when I started this series back in May, all these days are starting to blend together. I don't know about y'all, but it is. I don't own book 2 or book 3, so hopefully I'll continue soon, but I mean, I got this for a really cheap price and I had to get it, right? So now I'm going to talk about 2 books that I was sent from the authors. Sorry y'all, I'm like shedding like nobody's business. Sorry, squirrel moment. But anyway, so I got a finished copy of Catch Me When I Fall by A.L. Jackson. This is the 2nd book in the Catching the Stars series, and I have not started it yet, but A.L. Jackson is one of my favorite romance writers. I immediately get sucked into her books. Her books are absolutely amazing. And then the next book I was sent is Wild Highway by Debney Perry. This is the 2nd book in her Runaway series. They actually got recovered, so I have the original cover for the 1st book, which is Runaway Road, I think is what it's called. Another author who I absolutely adore. Her writing is more of like a romantic kind of suspense, but they are so good. At least I say romantic suspense because I read her Jameson Valley series and absolutely loved it. That has more of like a mystery kind of suspense element to it. So my next 2 books are 2 books that I got recommended because I'm going to try out something that I guess now, hopefully by the time I put up this book haul, I will have already done it. But anyway, I am going to try out manga and I'm so nervous, but one of a friend that I follow on Instagram who just started booktube, Desiree, I think it's Genki Reader, I know I'm probably saying that wrong, but she recommended 2. They're specifically romances and I am so excited. I love hearing all of her different recommendations and everything, but she recommended Dekoboko Sugar Days, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the author's name, but I am super excited about this one. It sounds like a super cute, sweet romance. And then the other recommendation she gave was Cherry Magic, and this one is more of a mystical element to it. The hero, he can actually read people's minds, so that's going to be a very interesting element, and if I remember correctly, he's a virgin, so that's going to be even more interesting. So next up, I did buy a copy of How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Byrne. Kerrigan Byrne is an absolutely amazing historical romance author. Love her to death. And then I got a copy of Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Carvel series. This is the last book, which I'm hoping to read this month in July. I am loving this series so much. I am really nervous to see how this is all going to wrap up, and I'm also kind of sad to see it go because it is such a fun series. Okay, so next up is books that I've gotten in a subscription box, which these are all companies that I am a rep for, and I can guarantee I am missing books. Like I said, I redid my bookshelves. I can't remember where I put some of these books, but I will definitely put them like on the screen so you can at least see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first 2 books, one of them I couldn't find on my bookshelf, but it is from the Bookworm box. I think this was the May box, but we had the F List by Alessandra Torre. What I love about the Bookworm box that they're doing this year is they're doing exclusive covers, so if you get like the original edition, it does not look like this, but I am super excited about this. I think I've only read one other book by Alessandra Torre, but I can't remember, but I am really excited about this one. And then the book that I could not find, I have no idea where I put it on my bookshelf. I think it's called Beholden by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. I'll see if hopefully I found the cover for the Bookworm box edition, but I don't know where I put it on my bookshelf. I can't remember, but this was the 2nd book in that box. Okay, so next up is the 2 books that I got in, I think this is also the May box for Mystic Box. This is another awesome book subscription service, mostly for like the dark and erotic romance genres. So one of the books that was included was first by C.L. Matthews. I don't know if this is supposed to be a full-length book or if it's a novella, but the cover is super pretty. So, and then the second book is Breathe, also by C.L. Matthews. She was the author for this box. This is actually book 2 in the Hollow Ridge series. These are the two books are completely different series, but I do know that this is book 2, so I'll have to go back and get book 1 hopefully soon. Okay, so this next one is for Bell Book Box, specifically for the Beast box. So there's 2 different book box options. I will definitely talk about that in a future unboxing about how all that works, but I got the Beast box, which is the bigger of the 2 boxes, and there was 6 books in this box, and 2 of them, I don't know where I put them on my bookshelf. So I will definitely put covers up so you can at least see what I'm talking about. But one of the very first books that I got was the Happily Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I know I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book, but honestly I've heard more good than, not necessarily bad, just it wasn't for them, but I really think that I'm going to like this book. Next up, I got 2 books in the same series. I don't know which one's first or second, but the first one is Finding Him by Rachel Van Dyken, and then the other one is Stealing Her by Rachel Van Dyken. I absolutely adore Rachel Van Dyken. I've read a handful of her books and really enjoy them, so I know I'm probably going to love these as well. And then the other book is The Trade by Megan Quinn. Again, she's another author that I absolutely love. She has more of a rom-com backlist, I guess, but I am super excited about the series. I absolutely love sports romance, and especially since we can't see sport, not that I'm like a really big sports person, but I definitely love reading sports romances, and especially since there are no live sports basically at this time, this is definitely gonna help, you know, with that. Okay, so one of the books that I can't find on my bookshelf is The Soulmate by Mary Catherine Jabard. I know I'm totally pronouncing that wrong and I really apologize, but this was one of the books that I have somewhere hiding on my shelves somewhere. I have no idea where I put it. And then the other book, sorry, I have a picture on my phone. It is Choose Me by Katie Page. This cover is super pretty, but both of these books that I can't find on my shelves, I have never read their books, so I'm very intrigued to see what I think about them, but I know I have them somewhere on my bookshelves. I just don't know where I put them. Okay, so this last stack of books is mostly where I went a little crazy buying books, but I have no regrets. A lot of these was because I was trying to support Black Lives Matter and, you know, just trying to, you know, buy as much as I could, and I definitely went a little crazy. The first stack, or the first 3 books that I'm going to show you guys are books that Amazon had like a, I think it was like buy 2 get 1 free, which was kind of cool, so I definitely took advantage of that and I got 3 books. So okay, so when I bought these books, there was one book that I was trying to find that I'm actually reading this week, which by the time you're probably seeing this, it's probably already passed, but it's for the Readathon. And this book I tried to find at Barnes & Noble and they didn't have it, but that is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This is a YA fantasy with Korean mythology, and I obviously haven't started it yet, but I am so freaking excited. I have heard so many amazing things about this book. And then the other book that I bought was The Boyfriend Project by Farah Roshan. I am honestly really excited about this book. I know it's more of like a woman's fiction more than a romance, but I'm super excited. I know it has, you know, the biggest element is the friendships, so I am super excited about this. It actually just released like now, I think like 2 weeks ago, so it's a new release. And then, okay, so when I did my haul at the beginning with the company that we're not going to mention, I'm not even going to say the name, this was the book that prompted me make the order, and when I got the box, the copy that I had came super damaged, and I was so incredibly upset. And then of course when I got my refund and you know they sent me replacement copies, of course this is one of the books that they no longer had in stock. So this was also another reason why I purchased this book on Amazon, because I needed another copy, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I absolutely loved this book, and I hate that it took me so long to read this book, but I'm definitely going to be talking about it in my wrap up. When all this started, there was 2 releases that I was extremely excited about that on release day. I think I ordered them on Barnes & Noble's website and then immediately went to Barnes & Noble to pick them up. But it is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, and I also got A Song of Wrath and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. Both of these books I sadly have not read yet, but I really hope to read in July. Okay, so I've already talked about this book a couple times already, but it is The Black Flamingo by Dean Otta. This book was adorable. I loved it so much. I cannot praise this book enough. So I have 3 more books that I bought from Barnes & Noble. This was during the blackout, whatever it's called, but this is actually for the Curry-a-thon. This is The Silence of Bones by June Her, I think is how you say it. I think this is more of like a thriller book, which I have not really read any, so this is definitely going to be an interesting experience. I'm curious to see what I'm going to think about this book. And then I have another book that just, every time I look at this book, it like brings the biggest smile to my face, and it's You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This book was so precious. I loved it so much. I can't rave about this book enough. And then the other book I got was The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. I also read this in July. I read it in June. I'm getting my months confused at this point. But this was such a cute, it brought me a big smile to my face. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the haul. I have 5 more books to talk about, but the next book I have is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have not read this book yet. I hope to read it really soon. I do know that this is in verse. She is an author that has completely blown up. Like, everybody is talking about her books. So I'm sure you've already heard about this book, but I am super excited about this book. Next up I got Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I am really excited about this book. This was another book that came recommended for me to read. I didn't realize just how short of a book it is. So that is definitely something I can knock out pretty quickly, but I am super excited to see what this book is about. And then I have Sleigh by Brittany Morris. I am also super excited to read this book. It sounds like it's going to be such a fun ride, I guess. I'm really excited about this book. So last up I have 2 books that are totally out of my comfort zone, but I definitely think that they're very necessary for my education. But I'm hoping to read them this month in July, because I need to read them and see what these books are talking about and what I've missed in my education. But that is White Rage by Carol Anderson, and then I also got White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. These are definitely shorter than I thought that they were going to be, which is also helpful because I'm not somebody who reads nonfiction, but I am definitely going to make it a priority, I guess, to read more nonfiction. Hey guys, so like I said, I am going to just continue this book haul because it took me so long to even put together the June book haul. So this is just going to be a huge quarantine book haul. Like I said, I am not going to talk about these books, especially I do not want to have you guys sit through over an hour-long video. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. So all of these books that I'm about to talk about are all the books that I have collected this month. I'm almost positive I have every single book here, like I'm not missing any. I definitely was keeping track of all the books that I was getting, so I really should not be missing any of them. One of the very first books that I got, I was sent to from Gallery Books, is the Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel. I am so excited about this book. It is already out, so you guys can definitely purchase it if you guys want to get it, but it is a historical fiction. I am so excited about it. Next up, I got a used copy of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Everybody knows this book. I happened to find it at Half Price Books. Was so excited to even find it, so I got it. I had to snatch it very quickly, but I now have it. I am so excited. And then the other book that I bought that same day at Half Price Books was Aurora Rising. I have always struggled to say Aurora. I don't know why. Anyway, this is by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. Again, if you read YA, you already know about this series. It's a sci-fi, not romance, I was going to say romance, a sci-fi young adult book. And then, which I have been trying to get for a long time now, I got Illuminae by the same authors, Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. I am so excited about this book. It's more of like a mixed media book, so I'm so excited. I happened to find this, I think, on abebooks.com. It's just a used bookstore thing, and I think I found it with shipping and everything for like $6, and it's in really good condition, and I am so excited to finally have a copy of it. Next up, I got a really pretty copy of The Wife Who Knew Too Much by Michelle Campbell. If I'm not mistaken, this is also out. This is a thriller, and this is a genre, like I have talked about. If you didn't know, this is kind of a genre that I don't really read really at all, so this could not have come at a better time. I think I might save it maybe for October. Maybe that might be a kind of fun month to try out thrillers, but I'm so excited to have it because what perfect time to get a thriller book. Next up, I have a copy of Louisiana Lucky by Julie Pennell. This cover is so cute. I received this copy from the publishing company. I also got a NetGalley arc. I just have not had a chance to dive into it. I do know it is a woman's fiction book, but it just sounds like a really great book. Earlier in the month of June, I think, I helped host a virtual signings in my Facebook groups. I did purchase a book from the author who came up with the idea in the first place. It is Lily Atlas. I love this series. I think this is book 3 in the Hell's Handler MC series. I already read it. I already loved it. An amazing series. You guys need to go check out her books if you're a fan of dark romance MC. Next up, I got one of my favorite books in the month of July, I think. I got a copy of The Damned by Renee. This is the second book in the Beautiful series. It is a YA paranormal series about vampires. It's amazing. I got this copy from Penguin Teen, so thank you to Penguin Teen for sending me a finished copy of this amazing, amazing book. Next up, I got the 2 books in my Mystic box for June. I will put my unboxings in the cards so you guys can go check it out, but the featured author was Kimberly White, so we have Paradise and Vodka, and then Sensations 1 through 3. So super excited about those. And then next up, I got a finished copy of A New Page by Zara Telek. If you guys don't know, this is one of my favorite series of the year. This released this year. This is the second book in the Stained Souls MC series. I love it, and what's really cool is there's a page dedicated to me, which means the absolute world to me that I have been able to help out this author and just kind of be a part of that journey, and I'm so excited. I love this book. I love this series. More people need to read it. Please read it, please. And then next up, for the virtual signing, I grabbed a copy of Owned by the Bedman by Haley Feynman. I love her books. They are really good. What's really fun is in August, the book of the month for Mafia is actually one of her other Mafia books, and it is called Becoming the Boss. So super excited to read that, but I got a signed copy of one of her other Mafia books. Next up, I have 3 books by another favorite author of mine, Christine Michelle. The first book is Proven. This is the second book in the Cedar Falls series. I have not read this series yet, but she is one of my favorite authors. And then I got books 3 and 4 of the Aces High Charleston chapter. So this is an MC series, A Twist of Fate and The Killing Ride. But I have not read these yet. She's an auto-buy author for me. I absolutely adore her to pieces. So definitely go check out hers as well. Next up, I actually ordered this off of a Facebook group and it just came yesterday. Literally, when I'm filming this is August 1st. But I got this in the mail yesterday, and it is Dark Dawn by Kristoff. This is actually the UK hardcover edition. I'm obsessed with these covers. I really hope to collect the first 2. So this is actually book 3. I couldn't let this go. It was, I think I paid like $15 for it. But these covers are so beautiful, and then when you put them all together, like there's a color story going on. Like, I am so obsessed with the cover design of these, so I really hope to collect the rest of these. And then next up, like I said, I will put this in the little cards up here, but it is the 2 books for July for the bookworm box, and we have Arranged by R.K. Lilly, and then Reining Her In by Katie Ashley. Again, I will put the little unboxing for this box if you guys want to go check it out. I will put it in the cards, so you can kind of see what this book box is all about. I love it. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I say that a lot. And then lastly, so if you guys have been following me, especially on Instagram, you know that I've become recently a fan of the manga world. So I'm definitely trying to try out different genres within that world, and so I went to the biggest half-price books in my area. It's in Dallas. It's pretty big. It's the biggest one within my area in Texas, if I'm even making sense at all. Anyway, I was kind of surprised, which is also good, that I wasn't able to find a lot that I recognized. I've kind of been looking on Goodreads of books that I might be interested in, but I did find Peach Girl. This is the first volume. I'm not going to try and pronounce the names. I'm going to get them wrong. But this is an older manga series, so if you're a fan of manga, you might recognize this one. But I'm curious to see what I'm going to think about the older mangas and see if I enjoy them, if they've held up through the test of time. So we'll see. But the next ones that I found are actually a recommendation from Desiree from Genki Reader. I will put her little tag right here, but she does have an Instagram and she also has a booktube channel. I've talked about her recently. I recently did trying out manga for the first time based off of her recommendations, so again I will put them in the cards. But I saw her recently post about this series. I'm almost positive it is a boys love, which just means it's MM, male. It is Gravitation. So these are the first 2 volumes in the series. So I think this is also an older manga series, so I'm curious to see how they've held up. But I was so excited to actually find these, but I really look forward to seeing what I'm going to think about them. And then last up, I gotta get it out of the box because I've just held it in here, but I am so excited to have finally gotten my very first Owlcrate box. I have been trying, sorry, I'm literally dropping everything, but I have been trying to get this box for the longest time, but I got my first box, and in the July box was a Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson. I've already read this book. I read a review copy from Penguin Teen. I think I read this in July, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did, but this is one of my favorite books of the month. I love this book. The whole concept behind this book was amazing, so definitely check out my July wrap-up to see a little bit more of my thoughts. I will put my review in the comments below, but highly recommend checking out my review for it. I loved this book, and y'all, I have my very first sprayed edge book, and I am so excited. It has, you probably can't tell, but it has gold sprayed edges and it's like metallic and shiny. And I'm just so excited that my very first Owlcrate box is a book that I've already read and loved, so that is really exciting. But the July box was fabulous. If you guys have stuck in this long for this very long book haul, I really appreciate it. I really want you guys to let me know down in the comments if you guys have been buying a lot of books lately. I know kind of the biggest thing right now is buying a mystery box of historical romances, and y'all, as I'm filming this of August 1st, I have not bought one. I have been holding off on buying one of those boxes because I don't want to fall down that rabbit hole, but it's gonna happen eventually, I have a feeling. But definitely let me know if you guys have purchased any books lately, if you've been buying a lot like I have. Hopefully I'm not the only one. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed me hauling all of these books. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more videos from me. Make sure to put the push notifications on so that you guys know when I post again. As I've said in my recent videos, I am mass pre-filming a bunch of videos, so I'm hoping to get more of a consistent schedule with my posting. So definitely make sure you have those notifications on. All of my social media links are going to be down in the description if you guys want to check out what I'm doing on other platforms. I hope you guys are having a great day, great morning, great night. I don't know when you're watching this, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this very long book haul. But I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.